Hello and welcome to Tea of Midgard, a podcast for and about Ragnarok Online 3 lovers and critiques. I'm your everyday lunatic lover even, and today's topic is community. In this episode we will discuss the game's development and the part we all play in this together. Let us start with a short introduction. The Ragnarok Online era started launching the MMORPG PC game Ragnarok Online, known as RO or Ragnarok Online 1, in 2002. It is a Korean pixel RPG looking game with a design mix of 2D and 3D elements and a massive amount of players and crowded maps that made everyone feel part of the community just by being there. Looking back, many players still experience the feeling of nostalgia and the deep connection to the Ragnarok Online world that expanded to multiple games throughout the decades. Mainly because of multiple events happening, losing their lead designer and most of the original developing team, Ragnarok Online 1 seemed to be doomed. With the South Korean developer corporation Gravity deciding on pushing other game formats while the fanbase of Ragnarok Online 1 was still striving, many players felt more and more disconnected to development as the game was slowly abandoned. This emotional roller coaster pushed the nostalgia feeling even more, and people would reconnect launching private servers of Ragnarok Online 1 and having a good amount of people still playing today, craving the original Ragnarok Online feeling of their childhood. So, while Gravity developed many other Ragnarok games, including 2 versions of Ragnarok Online 2, the RO community still called out to Gravity to just focus on Ragnarok Online 1 instead. Bringing in a lot of experience through their Ragnarok mobile games such as the recently released Ragnarok Online Mobile Classic. Gravity now works on a remake of Ragnarok Online 1 and calls it Ragnarok Online 3. Ragnarok Online as it was meant to be. With that said, the Ragnarok Online community was given all the social media sites and the Discord server, and some lucky ones even got access to the first pioneer test to help development by testing crucial MMO features. Many people, with or without access, started discussing developer statements and previews, and finally, actual gameplay. The first uploaded videos of discussing Ragnarok Online 3 and how it would be doomed already like all the other Ragnarok games after RO1 got replaced by gameplay videos and people dwelling in the feeling of reconnection and joy, while they test just basic features given the stage the game is in right now. Calling it a pioneer test, the current version of RO3 is still closer to an open alpha than an actual closed beta version. I suppose they use agile project management, which makes it difficult to have a clear definition of the current project phase. I think they did a great job utilizing their assets like this, because they grabbed the community's attention and gave them something to look forward to and work with, but do not waste too many resources into testing and marketing, instead saving time and money on all the testing and brainstorming the community does. Making a visually pleasing Pioneer Test 1 is not just exciting to test players, but also makes them promote the game, drawing in more and more people. Why this could be a problem, I'll explain later. Given access to the first Pioneer Test, I have to point out that the given features were limited, as they wanted to prioritize testing certain multiplayer options, making customization and other game features almost irrelevant at this point. The first Pioneer Test mission was to test 10-player dungeons and the Guild League system. Some people put a lot of effort into testing and reporting, others focused more on enjoying gameplay, content creation, or just being there while it all starts anew. As people would join one after another, some at the beginning, some later, it was a somewhat realistic representation of how people would join the game after release. Guilds were created, teams formed, Creators pulled in an audience, but given only 5 hours of server uptime 3 days a week, there wasn't much time. That lack in time built up a natural but also weird community dynamic between experienced players and inexperienced players. This most likely was fired by the almost unusable chat option, as the chat during Pioneer Test 1 would reset to world chat every time and also pulled out the chat UI over 1/3 of the screen, or having the pop-up party chat vanish randomly. It was difficult to focus on dungeon fights while also calling out to other party members, giving them advice, or just communicate in general. Hence, there were multiple people on private voice chats, and then there were the left out ones and the ones who just tried anything with the given features. Rather than sticking with one party, people abandoned their party more and more often. Because of some newer players failing boss mechanics, many people were quick to give up on later joining testers, as they would join very irregularly due to the friend code system. Disregarding the fact that these players might have faced network issues, bugs, or just had a hard time synchronizing with people they couldn't talk to, it became frustrating. For whatever reason, failing at a dungeon didn't seem worth playing, even though in a Pioneer test it should be worth testing. Meanwhile, Guild League was facing other issues, having free wins for some teams because the other guild wasn't participating or didn't have many players, which could also be due to having multiple characters available and being time limited in general. More and more people joining the Discord server with the intention of just being able to play the game, but not want to put a lot of effort into neither the game's development nor the community, which can be frustrating for everyone. Will this attitude lead to the downfall of Ragnarok Online 3? Or is it veterans being disappointed in the game's features and development decisions, leaving other community members behind? So far, the Pioneer Test 1 overall seemed to be a good mix of rankers and veterans on one side, and casual gamers and randomly spawning newbies on the other. This leads to a good amount of very different perspectives during testing with many reviews. Although I believe that it is important to have all kinds of players represented, this could start a fire within the community. There was simply not enough time to smooth out all these emotions put into posts or comments, which could lead to people turning their back on this game before it even started. A little disturbing thought here is that the community seems to also face cultural issues, as the Discord community server has no Japanese server role, and despite them being a former powerhouse in the community, they would have to choose in between other languages if they want to participate in the global Discord server. Not as bad, but still confusing. Could it be for people from China and surrounding countries, as there is only traditional Chinese available as an option on Discord, but has both traditional and simplified Chinese on the Joymaker website, which is like a community blog site for RO3. The big Brazilian community would have to choose Portuguese, even though this option was probably meant for them, and on Joymaker they would have to choose English. Cultural difficulties just expand with misunderstandings like this. As for Europeans, there is still no explicit statement regarding game access. There haven't been any regulations in the terms of service regarding this at the end of Pioneer Test 1. It was announced that RO3 will have a different server channel system, but how will this affect the community? Will we be separated automatically by IP or language? Or will we be changing channels each map randomly to have steady performance throughout the server? Will there be a different server for PC and mobile, for autoplay and no auto? Given the current chat feature, it could be chaotic to put everyone together with no regards to language barriers. PC users would also be able to overpower global chat functions, as mobile users are not as flexible and fast in comparison. I think developers already try countering this with slow chat function, which should prevent spam. Although in Pioneer Test the chat would save your messages for you to be able to repost them fast, using this option is still tricky with the current chat issues. Voice chat option was disabled in Pioneer Test 1. Could this solve the chat issue, or does it separate the community even more? Overall, a separation could be justified, but is it the right thing to do? Ragnarok lives of its community. While I see a still emotionally unstable relationship between many players and Gravity, most people want to believe that there can be a revival of the Ragnarok Online era from back then. So where are we now? What makes the Ragnarok Online era worthy of having nostalgia so bad? Every good game that keeps their player base active evolves over time. It's not just one original Ragnarok Online experience, because many players joined in later, experiencing the same as all the other players before. So the original raw feeling that gives nostalgia is not that much related to specific features that changed over time, but still, the community discussing the Ragnarok Online 3 game design is split. Loud voices want the cross-platform design to be gone and have their Ragnarok Online PC game reworked but not tweaked too much, as they want the features kept that made raw unique. Development, on the other hand, wants the game to be modernized and friendly to a new demographic of players to advance the game to a new era, giving the option to play on both PC and mobile. There are people who switch in between their opinions, people who simply complain about just anything, and people who do not understand why there are so many heated debates about features that they are already used to growing up playing other games. Then there is the misunderstanding between Asian and Western culture. While Eastern design in general focuses on many details and just a lot of information perceived at once, Western design now likes simplicity and minimalism. Although it somehow seems to be merging in other aspects globally, the same could be seen in their approach to both PC and mobile apps. Merging everything, platforms, experience with other games, designs, and features will always lead to compromise, and that seems to be splitting the fanbase at the moment. Some still feel like this game will just be another doomed game. To me, Ragnarok Online 3 will most likely be evolving into a new generation of Ragnarok games, and honestly, I look forward to that. It gives new era vibes, just like Ragnarok Online 1 when it was released. The new game might not be perfect, but was Ragnarok Online perfect? Nostalgia alone will never make people stay in a community that focuses on the bad side of things and pushes a narrative of a doomed game. We will just drown in frustration. Instead, I want all of us to engage with the game as much as possible and find our own approach to the game. Making friends, making content, building communities, and to build the game we all deserve by coming up with well-crafted solutions, accepting compromises, and test them before we decide on how to continue together. Given the new seasonal approach developers want to implement, there should be more options to quickly improve the game, or to skip the season you do not like playing. I do believe that it is possible to have a better exchange in between the publisher, developers, and the game community just by making content and communicating on all the social platforms with the best intentions. How can we improve the community's platform Joymaker? Will RO3 be available on Steam? What else can we do? Examples of content that we need are heartfelt reviews, feature and bug testing, actual comparison in between all the Ragnarok games or other games, aesthetic content that shows the beauty of the game, funny shorts, fan art, and most importantly, a resilient community with group chats, social media, blogs, discords, anything. So don't forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe. As long as we all participate, Ragnarok will stay alive and well. What makes Ragnarok Online great isn't just the game's design or one specific feature that we loved back then. What makes Ragnarok great is the community that never forgot and never gave up. Ragnarok Online 3 could be a revolution that connects new generations and starts a new wave of nostalgia in the future. Join Midgard. Enjoy the tea. Until next time.